What is up, guys? I'm back here for another video. I wanted to bring you guys a recap of the 2022 California State Pro Championships, where Ross Flanigan, one of the underdogs coming into the show, won the entire thing. The sauce boss, the man who owns the flavor gang, overcame the favorite Tonio Burton to win the Cal Pro. So here I want to run you guys through some of the poses. This is at the prejudge. Here we have Ross on the right and Tonio Burton on the left. Now Tonio had won the New York Pro the week prior, so he was the heavy favorite coming into the show. But Ross brought, you see, a more muscular, fuller, but yet drier and more conditioned look than Tonio. Tonio didn't look just as sharp as he had the previous week in New York, but Ross he brought the goods. He dwarfed Tonio in this front double bicep. The quads absolutely destroyed Tonio's and blow his out of the water. The upper body even is much bigger. You see, Ross just has more muscle than Tonio, pretty much in all areas. Just Tonio has that crazy midsection, that round, full muscle bellies, but it wasn't enough to overcompensate for Ross's size, his muscularity, and his shredded conditioning. You even see here in this rear double bicep pose, the hamstrings are stripped, the glutes are striated, the back is crazy. I mean, it was close, but in the end, Ross had too much for Tonio Burton. Here we see some more comparisons in that first call out that featured Beef Stew, who was second place at the New York Pro last weekend. And Tonio Burton, of course, won that competition. And the man who showed up against all odds, Sergio Oliva Jr., flew into the United States 24 hours before the competition. He wasn't at his best, but it's still a very good look considering that he had to take a 24-hour flight just before the competition. He was probably holding water. He wasn't at his absolute best, but hopefully we'll see more from Sergio, and he'll jump into some shows here coming up. Here we have him in the frontal bicep pose. I don't know. This one for me is either between Tonio or Ross. I mean, Tonio has that little bitty waist, but Ross absolutely overwhelms him with the muscularity, especially in the lower body. You see these quads, they're unmatched. Moving into the side chest here, I think Ross also wins this shot. The side leg is absolutely crazy. He has that low hamstring drop that really no one else in that lineup has. And Sergio's side leg does look pretty good, but he was not as tight as Ross Flanigan. And last, we have him here in the rear double bicep shot. Ross has the most shredded lower body we see here. I really like the way Beef Stew hit this shot as well. Sergio looked a bit flat. The muscle wasn't pushing up against the skin, so that's why he wasn't in that top two. Next, I want to show you guys here a video. Excuse me. Let me mute that. A video between the top two in that call out from the prejudging. We see Ross just brought it. He had more muscle. He was more conditioned. He just had too much for Tonio. Tonio was just a little bit off from last week's showing at the New York Pro, as I had said. But it was probably one of the best top two battles we've seen. I would say definitely at least this year. It was very competitive. Ross brought the conditioning, he brought the muscularity. Antonio, he has that beautiful shape that no one else in that lineup had, and that's what made it so close. After the prejudge, Tonio was actually leading 1 point ahead of Ross in the prejudge, but Ross came back sharper, more improved for the night show and overwhelmed Sergio. So here, I also want to show you guys the comparison of that top call out, the first call out. It really was an exciting show, especially the top four. And it gets us really excited looking forward at these shows that we have coming up in the next few weeks. We think about Toronto, who we know Ian Valier will be there, also Hassan Mustafa, and also Mohammed Shaban, three guys who qualified for last year's Mr. Olympia. And also at that Toronto Pro, we will have Ross Flanigan, who won this show, and hopefully we'll see Sergio Oliva Jr., who's still looking for that Olympia qualification for the big day later this year in November. Last, I want to show you guys here the routine of the winner here, Ross Flanigan, the sauce boss. Congratulations to him. I couldn't be more happy for him because last year we all know what happened. It was his pro debut at the Indy Pro, and he pretty much blew it. Yeah, it involved the introduction of some substances. He got high as a kite, mixed alcohol with some CBD, and he just blew his look. But this year there was no messing about. Him and his coach Dominic Cardone brought him in at his absolute best, and he blew away everyone. He blew away everyone. I don't think anyone expected Ross to win this show. I didn't expect him to win the show. I had him in fighting somewhere in the top 5, maybe top 3 at best. But it goes to show you, if you come in at your very best and the competition's off, they're there for the taking. And I was very impressed here with Ross's showing, his conditioning, his muscularity, as I mentioned before. Even his posing. I think the posing is probably the aspect of his performance that he could improve the most, but he's not in a bad position to be in at all. He's qualified for the Olympia now. He'll be competing next weekend at the Toronto Pro. And I couldn't be more happy for the guy. He's a great guy. I was able to meet him at the Olympia last year at his booth, the Flavor Gang. He's the owner of the Flavor Gang. So go check out his Instagram. I believe it's tagged here, Ross Flanigan _gains. And go check out his products at theflavorgang.com. I loaded up on his cream of rice last year and bought 50 of them. And that's probably the best cream of rice I've ever tasted. Man, it's so good. I eat it every day. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have for you guys here today. Oh, here's one last video that I wanted to show you. How crazy Ross got at the end. Look at how excited he was. I don't even think he expected to win this show, but I couldn't be more happy for the guy. Yep, that's it. The wrap up of your 2023 Cal Pro Championships. Ross Flanigan, the winner, who is now qualified for the 2023 Mr. Olympia. Congratulations to him and his coach, Dominic Cardone. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe for more videos like this. And I'll see you next time. We're out.